and welcome to VOSR International, the voice of shortwave radio. I'm your host, Wavecrest Guy. This broadcast is being transmitted by WRMI, Radio Miami International, in Okeechobee, Florida, on both 9455 and 15770 kilohertz. This broadcast is also being transmitted by shortwave radio in Lower Saxony, Germany, on 3975 kilohertz.
All right, so we're going to start out this broadcast with some announcements. And first off, I want to make an announcement that we did hear from our one-year anniversary radio giveaway winner, Greg, and he sent me an email, and he writes, sorry for the delay, he had some health issues. And he sent me a picture with him and the radio that he won and his other radios also. He said, I can't tell if it came out well, but all three radios in the picture are programmed to the three stations I can receive VOSR on. And it is a great picture. I actually set up a page on our website at VOSRinternational.com. You can go over there and check it out. I've also put this picture in under the listeners' radios on that page, so it's on there twice. He continues on here. The radio is awesome, great sensitivity with just the whip antenna, really easy to use and understand too. I needed a small portable for out and about, and this fits the bill perfect. Thanks again for having the contest. Congratulations, Greg. I'm glad it worked out for you, and I agree that radio is very intuitive. It's really easy to use. You don't have to study the manual or there aren't a lot of things hidden on it, features, and it's really an easy to use radio, and it is great to just pop in your shirt pocket and go ahead and take it out and use it. So congratulations, glad you're enjoying it, and you can go over and check that out over on our website and see his collection of radios. The next, while you're over there, we'll talk about our website, VOSRinternational.com. You can head over there. I got still going on with the listeners map, the VOSR International listeners map. If you send in a reception report with your location or just an email with your location, I will add a pin onto your location on our listeners map. We're getting close to 400 pins on there. I think we still have a couple states in the U.S. to fill out. I don't think we have North Dakota or South Dakota yet. I think there's one or two more. And we are getting quite a few in Europe, and we actually picked up a couple in Australia, and I believe there was even one in New Zealand that have been picking up the program on 15770 kilohertz. So you can go ahead and check those out. I ended up putting them on a Google type map or an app I've got, and then I take screenshots of it so you can zoom in and see the locations. So you'll have to flip through them. And then also I have a page on there for our listeners' radios and radio rooms and their setups. So send in your emails for that and with pictures, and we'll get them put on there. And it's a nice little collage, and you just kind of flip through them and see everybody's radios. A lot of great radios out there, and it's great to see a lot of those older radios being used. There's definitely a lot of newer radios, and a lot of people, especially with the weather changing, starting to go outside and take advantage of that and listening to the radios in the outdoors. So keep those pictures coming in, and we'll get them added on. You can also add some VOSR merchandise to your list. You can go over there and purchase some merchandise and support the channel. We've got hats and notebooks and mouse pads, and there's a bunch of things on there. Go over there and check it out, and just order what you like. All proceeds just go and help purchase airtime and support the channel. Next, you can go over to our Facebook group if you're on that medium, and we are under VOSR International. You can join us over there. It's another easy way to communicate with us. You can just click and post over there. You can post any receptions that you have. You can post VOSR International receptions, ask questions. It's a great group, and you can go over there. And that's grown quite a bit. I actually just started mentioning it on the show here a couple months ago, and it's grown by quite a bit. So go over there and check it out. Click join, and then you can go over there you'll get a notification if somebody posts something, and you can go check it out. Also, we're on Reddit. You can go over to Reddit. We're under Grundig Shortwave Radio. And you go over there and check us out. We got a bigger group over there, actually. I've had that group longer. That's why I haven't changed the name. You don't need to have a Grundig Shortwave Radio to join the group. And I really can't change the name. I looked into it, and I really can't do it. So that's why we're just keeping it under that name. But go over there and check it out. A lot of people post their radios, post their reception reports. And questions, post other broadcasts that they're picking up, and they ask questions and show off their radios and their equipment and ask questions about it. Really good group. Check us out on Reddit, Grundig Shortwave Radios. And then we are also on YouTube. You can check out our YouTube channel at Wavecrest Guy. And mostly I put on reception reports. I'll have some radio reviews that I do over there every once in a while. And those I also do segments first over here on the station, on the broadcast. So then you can go over there for more information and watch the video and actually see the radio in action if you want to. I also have our past broadcast of VOSR International over there. You can go check that out. And I have a playlist. It says, the original broadcast. So it's the original file that I upload. So propagation is bad. You were busy. You couldn't get our show. We are doing a weekly show now, pretty much all the time. I don't have many replays. There used to be, when I was only doing a monthly show, of course, you had plenty of time to go and listen to the replay. And if you couldn't make the time and listen to it, or if propagation was bad. So this works out really well. We also do have a page on our website with all the links for all our past broadcasts. Goes all the way back to February 28th of 2025. So you can check them out. We do have a couple segments that were two-parters, and you might want to be able to check on that if you missed it. So go over there and check that out. All right. So now on with the show. All right, next we're going to do an equipment segment, and this one is going to be about a now defunct but famed antenna, the Wellbrook, and it's the ALA 1530 series of antenna. Now, these antennas are pretty much legendary. They have such a great reputation, actually, throughout the world, and you can't get them anymore. They did go out of business, and I'll kind of get into that in a little bit. But I got an email from one of our listeners, Chris in Columbus, Ohio, and he actually has some information about actually getting the parts so you can put one together yourself. And I have that information. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put it on the VOSR International website. I'll have a page for it so you can check it out. I haven't been able to do this yet. I want to try to put one of these together. In researching this and getting information about this radio, I know people that have it that say it's by far the best antenna that they have. And then I have others say that the K480WLA is getting close to it. It does a really good job, and that's what I have right now. I have the K480WLA that I use as my main antenna. Now, again, I am limited here. I live in a condo. I'm on the second floor of a 3-story building. I can't put up anything permanent. I can't put out long wires out into the public access areas or anything like that. So I am using these loops, and I mount them on a 5-foot piece of PVC pipe. And then I'm able to, pick them up and take them down when I'm using them. So I'll end up putting it out. I lean it over my railing on my lanai, and I've experimented with a lot of different positions for this, and it works great. I just go ahead, lay it out. I got it set up in a matter of seconds, and I'm listening in seconds. So it works out great. I do still have the K180WLA antenna because, of course, I have multiple radios here. And that actually works really good, too. The 480's got a couple extra features on it that make it definitely an upgrade. But all in all, the K180 WLA still does work really good on shortwave. So that's how I got it set up. So once in a while, I do have both the antennas out there. I would really like to try this Wellbrook antenna, and I don't mind going in and trying to put one together from the pieces if I can get the pieces to put them together. I try to watch eBay and see them coming on there. You really got to be careful. You almost on something like this. I think you want to be able to try to get it from an individual who's had it and is selling it. Because there's just so many imitations out there now. Just like for the MLA 30 plus antenna, there's just so many different versions of that antenna. You want to try to make sure you get the best one. So that is something to be a little bit leery of. So I'm going to go a little bit into the history to start off this segment, and then we'll move on to a couple other points that I want to bring up. All right, so the Wellbrook active loop antennas, notably the famed ALA 1530 series, were UK manufactured, high-performance, receive-only antennas. Widely considered the gold standard of shortwave, HF, medium wave, and long wave listening. Known for excellent noise reduction in urban environments, they feature a 1-meter loop with a low noise amplifier. The company ceased operations in April of 2023, and that's the right there is now you got some problems. It's not like they were a big company, had a lot of inventory, and we're still selling a lot of these antennas after they went out of business. They weren't doing it that way. So there's only so many antennas out there. It's a finite number now. They did have, of course, a few different models, but trying to find one of these now can be a challenge, especially the original Wellbrook. All right, renowned performances. The Wellbrook loops, the ALA 1530S Plus and the ALA 1530 LNP set the industry standard for receiving antennas, often used as a benchmark for comparing other antennas. And that's actually still happening today, especially the people who have used one. They all say it is right up there. Like I said, some people are starting to say that the K480 WLA is just as good, but they're also just saying that they're not relinquishing the number one spot from the Wellbrook. And the best thing for me about these loops is the noise reduction. Now, I'm not in I live in a condo, so I do have some noise interference, of course. But I live on a small island of Molokai in Hawaii, and there's just not a lot of people here, so there's not a lot of interference either. So I'm not like in a big town. This is a very rural area, so it's not that big of a problem. So, again, and everybody has been in the hobby for a while, this. If you live in a city, you're going to have some issues with interference. You live in an apartment or a condo in a larger city, it does make it tough. It makes it a lot harder. A lot of people will travel out to the country with their portables and even take a antenna loop out with them. They got it mounted on a pole and they can use it that way, very similar to what I do here on Mile and I. So, but the noise reduction of the loops, I believe, is probably the biggest feature. And I try to use, it's just because they work best for me. I tried to use passive loop antennas, and they just don't pick up as well here in Hawaii in my location. The amplification of these loops has really added a lot of listening pleasure. It really helps me in the hobby to try to pick up those faint broadcasts and bring some broadcasts in that through the propagation, and so I'm able to hear them. And it really helps with the keeping the noise level down, so you can bring out those faint broadcasts. So that is one of the big things about these loop antennas and the active loop antennas. They are highly effective at reducing local electromagnetic interference up to 30 dB on radiated noise and 60 dB on mains noise, making them ideal for urban, stealth, or small garden setups. Which again, it really helps if you're out in a rural area, or if you own a home with some land. You can set out a long wire and really do well by setting up a long wire or different variations of the long wire setup. And there are different variations that help reduce noise also, and you can really set up large arrays for that would really help you bring in stations. But these loops are very compact. They're easy to. They're very portable. If you get a 1 meter loop, it really isn't that bad to just pop it in your car and take it somewhere. So these are very. They have a real unique purpose where they are portable enough to be able to pack away, and they work well enough that you can use them as your permanent setup. Frequency range, they provide a broadband coverage, typically from VLF, long wave LW, medium wave MW, through the entire shortwave spectrum, 50 kilohertz to 30 megahertz, without needing tuning, which of course is a big plus, that you don't have to tune it all the time. So as things change, you don't have to keep adjusting it. And it works pretty good. Now, sometimes that can be a negative, because when you can tune it, it helps you bring it in a little bit better also. But it makes it a lot simpler to operate also. And now the design. These are active antennas utilizing a preamplifier at the loop feed point, which is typically a 1 meter aluminum tube or flexible plastic coated loop, which is often considered superior and more reliable in the long-term tests by users. Now, there are also there's quite a bit of information over on YouTube also. I will have some links to some YouTube videos on there, and there is one over there, a person that upgraded their Wellbrook loop. So you can go ahead and you'll be able to check that one out. There's actually quite a few videos on the Wellbrook, so it's another good resource to check out if you're interested in these. Usage, they are for receiving only purposes. Transmitting into them will destroy the amplifier. That pretty much goes without saying. But we're pretty much just talking about listening here. There's I mentioned YouTube. There's another video out there too that compares the reception of the Wellbrook loop to other antennas. So you got a head-to-head comparison going on there too. Those are good. And some of these videos, surprisingly, aren't really that old. They're still in 2025. With it, them not making them since 2023. You think some of these videos will be older, but there are some newer videos out there too. So the company closure, Wellbrook Communications stopped trading in April of 2023 following the passing of the owner, Andy Eichen, making new units unavailable. So the owner passed away. The secondary market used Wellbrook antennas are highly sought after and often sell for premium prices, according to user experiences. And I've looked. I've looked on eBay. I look on the. You're just doing searches, and it's really hard to find them. And the prices range from the few times that I have seen them to close to $300 to over $600. So some of them are really out there. But again, there are no more of them, so that does make it difficult to put a price on it. So always check and see how long they've been listed, and if they are selling. They can. A person can ask, of course, $700-800 for it, but if they're not selling it, that's not actually what the value is, because nobody's willing to pay that. So keep an eye out for them, but there are some other options of being able to either get a clone type, which maybe at some time I might end up doing one or getting one and then doing a review on it. We'll see. I've had this K480 WLA for quite a while now, and it's been my my go-to. But of course, being in the hobby, I'm always looking for something better. And if I might end up going the putting one together route. So again, we'll get into that in a little bit. And then similar alternatives, the W6LVP loop is frequently cited as a similar high-performance U.S.-made 1-meter active loop. Other options include the LZ1AQ amplifier or cheap, lesser-performing alternatives like the MLA 30 Plus. So these are definitely going to run the gamut, and so experimenting with them, and trying them, and finding out what others, how they're working for them, and that's the tough part of the hobby too, is that just because it's working for someone else in another area, depending on where you are in propagation, it just makes it tougher. So you end up buying a antenna and it doesn't end up working out for you. It wasn't that long ago that the MLA 30 Plus antennas were $20, and so it wasn't that big of a gamble. So it wasn't that big of a deal, and you always got a smaller portable antenna you can take with you and still try to use it in other areas. Once you start getting up into $100, a couple $100, that changes things, and you definitely would like to see some improvement over what you got. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. I did pay about $100 for my K480 WLA antenna. It has gone up a little bit since that. It's probably closer to $130 now. And the K180 WLA. Actually, that one I got fairly reasonable. Of course, I had it before I had the K480. I got that one for about $50 to $55, I believe it was. And again, so there it wasn't that, it was definitely a step up, but I wasn't worried too much about it, not performing at all, or comparing it to the MLA 30 Plus that I had. So now, getting into some of the information out there about making your own Wellbrook antenna. So first off, listener Chris from Columbus, Ohio, sent me this email chain that he had with a person that was making the Wellbrook amps, and it goes back to 2024, May of 2024, and at the time they were $150. I haven't looked into yet if he's still doing this. I'm going to have some information over on our website at VOSRinternational.com. And again, when I go forward with this project, I'll end out putting more information out there. But just to give you some idea of cost of putting one together, just the amplifier portion of this, of course, would be running about $150, and it may be more than that, seems though that is a couple of years old. Now, Chris also sent me an email chain from the person that was making the Bias T boxes for the Wellbrooks, and he writes now that there are a few versions of this. Now, this goes back to April of 2024, and he did have some information here. Just the power inserter Bias T, which would be $50 plus shipping. And then a power inserter Bias T plus the linear low noise 12-volt DC wall wart power supply would be $60 plus shipping. A power inserter Bias T plus rechargeable 12-volt DC LiPo power pack, which would be $85 plus shipping. So again, it's giving you some idea how much this will be. You got the amplifier, now you got the Bias T, and you're well over $200 already, and you still got to get the antenna and being able to mount it to move forward on this project. Again. It's going to be, just, hopefully this will be, better than what you had. But I think if you're stepping up from either a telescopic antenna, no antenna, MLA 30 plus, probably even, you probably wouldn't have to worry about it. It's not going to be much of a gamble, and then you're going to have an antenna that's going to last a long time. So then Chris also sent me a link from an Amazon seller that has the aluminum tubing that he used for the loop. As the circumference of the 1 meter, 3-footish loop is about 10 feet. This worked really well, and I know the components are designed for a 1 meter loop. So you want to stay within those specifications that the rest of the pieces were designed for. So again, I'm going to have all this information over on our website. I'll set a new page up for it. It'll be under the Wellbrook loop antenna, and there'll be links. There'll be links to some of the things you can purchase if you want to purchase the pieces. I'll even have some links there for my YouTube that you can go check out. But there'll be a lot of information over there. And here's where I need to hear from the listeners here. Do you have one of these old famed Wellbrook antennas? Are you using it to listen to the show? Let us know. I'd really like to find out if you have one of these. If you've compared it to other antennas, what other antennas have you used before this? And how much better it is than some of the other antennas that are out there now. Have you put together one of these antennas? If you did, send in some pictures, send in some information about it. You can even, if you want to do a guest segment about it, about putting it together, or about what you did or how you did it, let me know. Or even if you just have one of the Wellbrooks, if you want to do a guest segment, send an email into VOSRINT@yahoo.com. That's VOSRINT@yahoo.com. And I can get you started on doing it. It's very easy to do a guest segment. You could do it at your leisure. Just has to be recorded in MP3 format. And then I'll be able to, once you send it to me or send a link for it, I'll be able to add it to a show that I'm working on, and we'll get it out and get this information out to our listeners. I'm sure everybody would really appreciate getting some firsthand information, firsthand knowledge about it. Antennas are a big part of the hobby, and this is one of the premier antennas that it's been around for a while also. So trying to get this information out to all the listeners. So you can also contact us by heading over to our website at VOSRinternational.com. You can click on the mail icon and contact us that way. So let's hear from everybody who's got some of these Wellbrook antennas or even has some comments about them. And now on to the mailbag. First, we have an email from Carrie over in Finland, regular listener, and says, "Hello VOSR via shortwave gold on 6160 kilohertz. It was a S9 plus 10 dB in Rashidar, Finland. In Finland, it's RHASDR in Finland. And today, the 2nd of April at 1800 UTC." Nice that you've been able to improve the reception here in the north, too. So this 6160 kilohertz, this was the first week for that being simultaneously broadcast with 3975 kilohertz at 1800 UTC. The response has been pretty good on how the reception was on 6160 kilohertz, and it actually seemed to have done better than 3975 kilohertz this week anyway. So Kerry also writes, P.S. By the way, the war is already close to us. 3 Ukrainian drones already strayed into Finland with the intention of bombing Russian oil ports. But GPS jamming from Russia misled those devices to Finland. The same happened in Estonia. So stay safe over there, Kerry, and hope everything gets resolved quickly. And next we have regular listener Harry reporting from on the April 2nd broadcast from Finland, and writes, "Aloha, Jeff. I was listening on 6160 kilohertz on Radio SDR, Southwest Finland on the 2nd of April. Reception was good there with the signal 8 or even more. Clear channel at the time of this evening, local time. Antenna there is a 48-meter folded dipole, so it worked out well. I quickly checked 3975 kilohertz, and it was clearly weaker, possible to listen to anyway. Earlier in the evening, there would be some CRI, China Radio International, on 6160 kilohertz with lots of kilowatts, but at this time, frequency was good. And when I was talking to Shortwave Gold, when I started, deciding I was going to go with them and pick a frequency and time, that's what I was going to go for. 6160 kilohertz was my original intention, but they brought up right away, and again, this was more towards the winter season, saying that China Radio International really takes over that frequency, but they're not ruling it out. That's why they decided it sounded like they might be able to get some time in before China Radio blasts out everything. So far it's worked, and we'll see how it continues to go. Also writes, your flooding conditions sound terrible. Be careful out there. Flooding here was peaceful. Snow melted quite quickly away. And he says, thanks for Time Station's program. WWV Fort Collins was one that we used to listen to earlier when it sent solar indexes every 18 minutes past full hour. That was the only way that time. And now you can get all that from the internet. So thanks again, Harry. Thanks for continuing to let me know how reception is over there in Finland. Next, we have regular listener Adrian in Malta, and writes on 2/4 of 26 VOSR on 6160 kilohertz and 3975 kilohertz. Via SDR20 from Malta, the SINPO was on 6160 was 55353, and then it varied to 55454. And then 3975 seemed to be more steady at 55454 for an SINPO. First and foremost, it is now 1800 UTC. On some of my postings, I put down incorrectly of 1900 UTC. So the program is on at 1800 UTC. And it said more okay on 3975 kilohertz, but we'll see later on. And we will see how that works out in future broadcasts also. Thanks again, Adrian. Next, we have an email from Michael in Omaha, Nebraska. He writes, hello, I was tuning around on my Realistic DX390 and came across your program on, this was on March 28th, on 5850 kilohertz. I enjoyed your programming, broadcasts, and QSL cards from the past. No DX, I'm in the U.S., in Nebraska, but I heard you loud and clear on the just this portable telescopic antenna. Thank you so much for your reception report, Michael. I do have a QSL card out in the mail for you, and please let me know when you receive it. And next we have an email from regular listener Hidemi from Tokyo, Japan. He writes, I am pleased to report the reception of your broadcast on April 2nd of 2026 on the frequency of 3975 kilohertz and 6160 kilohertz using a web SDR out of the Netherlands. And the SINPO is reported as being 54333 to 54322. The reception was pretty much the same as 3975 kilohertz, at least today. I must say the 3975 kilohertz is a little cleaner than 6160 kilohertz. I went back and forth between the two. And continues to write, hello, thank you for introducing my mail on the air. I had to monitor on 6160 kilohertz to find out how good reception is. I've been listening test transmissions on Radio Malaysia on 15295 kilohertz, also on 11885 kilohertz. And it was very good. Very strong signals on daytime here in Japan. This is broadcasting for their own country, so languages they broadcast are mainly Malaysian. And he did receive the EQSL card, and he is looking forward to listening next week. So thank you, Hidemi, very much for continuing to be a regular listener and sending me this detailed reception report. It really helps me out to know how these broadcasts get sent out. And next, we got an email from Greg from Indiana, a regular listener, and he writes, Hi, Jeff. The segment on CHU Canada was very interesting. I found that station in the wild here in Indiana on 3330 kilohertz. I had heard both English and French, but didn't really know much else about the station besides the name. Great to learn more. Also, the Helicrafters Restorer segment was helpful. I have a SkyBuddy 2 and an S120 that I need some internals worked on. Like many others, I was wondering if there was anyone left still working on them. Great show. Thanks for the comments, Greg. Yes, and it is being harder and harder to find people that are working on these older radios and bring them back to life. So whenever I get someone that I know is still doing it, it is great to get that information out there and keep these radios going. Thanks for the email, Greg. And next we have an email from Stephen from Taylor County, Wisconsin. And he writes, Hi, VOSR. I heard your program tonight at 0300 UTC on April 4th. Tuned in right after radiogram on WINB. It was done. The signal is fading in and out a bit in the bad weather, but I can hear it here in Taylor County, Wisconsin. I like the show. Thanks for keeping it on the air. Thank you, Stephen, for your reception report and your comments. It's great. Hopefully you'll be able to catch us on the next show and hear your email here being read during the mailbag. Next, we have an email from Speedbird from Northeast Georgia. Writes, hey, I was scanning through the bands on my first real shortwave capable radio, the Redicus V115P. I got the other day for my 22nd birthday and stumbled across your show on 5850 kilohertz. I tuned in a bit late, but found the segment on CHU very interesting, and was even able to just barely get it on 3330 kilohertz after the show. Greetings from Northeast Georgia, USA. I have attached a recording of the show from the built-in SD card slot on the V115P for you. That is a really nice feature of that radio that you're able to record right off the radio. And it said, not bad for just the telescopic antenna and the $20 Amazon radio. Do you have any recommendations for affordable secondhand shortwave radios? And when's your next show? So I did answer Speedbird here, and I sent him my my schedule, so he's able to catch the program. Hopefully he's listening. But there are plenty of different radios and plenty of different places to look. Looking at Goodwill, sometimes you can find old radios. Some of the older realistic models are usually pretty nice, and most of them were made by, or a lot of them were made by Sangen. So good radios, and still, as long as they're in good condition, will still serve really well. But there's quite a bits out there. When you're looking for the in the used market, it's easier just keep an eye out for radios, and then when you find one, do the research on what you found, and then find out whether it's worth your while. You can always find something. You can always send a message in here, and we can go over and take a look and decide whether it's something you'd want to do. You do have to decide whether you want to stay with a portable unit, or if you want something more of a desktop model this time. But those are all things to keep in mind. Thank you for your email, Speedbird. Next, we received an email from Ryan, and currently in Strathcona County, Alberta, Canada. Writes, good evening, currently listening on 9455 kilohertz on a Yaesu FT710, reporting a signal of between 5 and 7. I enjoy your program. I will be listening more often. Thank you, Ryan, for the kind words, and that is a nice radio. That Yaesu FT710 will get the job done. That is really nice radio. And thank you very much, and it's good to know that we do have quite a few Canadian listeners, and I've got quite a few pins up on the on our listeners map in Canada. So keep those coming in, and we'll fill up Canada. I believe there are still a couple provinces we don't have pins on. So take a look and get your email sent in so we can get a pin added on your location. Next, we have an email from Dave in Lawrence, Kansas. And he is writing from the April 3rd broadcast on 9455 kilohertz. And it was coming in using an SDR Play RSPDX-R2 Looks like the reception was coming in between 5 and 8 and 9, using a loop on the ground antenna strung around the living room floor there. And he writes, great program with a wealth of info. Thank you. Thank you for the reception report, Dave. It's always great to find out how the program is coming in. And we don't get a lot of emails from Kansas area, so that's another location that'll help us out on knowing that how the transmission is being sent out. Thanks again, Dave. And next we have an email from regular listener Justin from Wisconsin, and he writes on April 3rd from 9455 kilohertz using an XH data D808, reporting an SINPO of 55444. He writes, the segment on CHU was very interesting. Thank you. I use them in WWV fairly often when I'm playing with the antennas or setting on the settings on my radios. He also writes, they are about 700 miles away as the crow flies. There's just something oddly relaxing, enjoyable about time signals, which is really true. And I do do the same as Justin. I'm sure a lot of people do. They use the time signals when they're making adjustments to their radio or their antennas because it is a constant. We know how they're coming in. We know how they usually come in our area, and we know how propagation affects them. So get used to regularly tuning into those and checking on them and seeing how the signal comes in, and you could use that as a gauge for how propagation is and how things are tuned on your radio. So thank you, Justin, again for the email. It's always great to hear from you and find out how things are going over there in Wisconsin. And I do have a QSL postcard out in the mail. Let me know when you receive it. And next we got an email from Matt in East Central Alabama. He writes, I came across your station on my analog radio on April 3rd at 0310 UTC and listened for a few minutes. Reception was fair. Sometimes the signal would fade. And then he also sent back his mailing address, and I do have a QSL card in the mail for you, Matt. So let me know when you end out getting that in the mail. And next we have a email from regular listener Jimmy from Glendale, Arizona. And he writes, hi, Jeff. Thank you very much for the shout-out last night on the program. As I'm listening on 9455 kilohertz, I think that is a summary broadcast out of Florida, WRMI. It did try your two indicated frequencies through the QRM, was not bad last night. Nothing in those bands was heard, and willing to keep trying. I believe you're referring to 6160 kilohertz and 3975 kilohertz. Those are only 1 kilowatt transmissions out of Lower Saxony, Germany. So you'd probably have to use a web SDR to pick those up. But the 9455 kilohertz and the 15770 kilohertz are both out of Okeechobee, Florida through WRMI. I am located in Glendale, Arizona, and usually have quite good reception from Hawaii, though not this time. I have QSL card from WWH and the Battleship Missouri, so I know how it works. And again, for listeners who are new to the show, I live on Molokai, Hawaii, and I produce and broadcast, or not broadcast, but record the show here on Molokai, Hawaii, and then I do a file transfer over to WRMI and over to Shortwave Gold, so it gets transmitted out of from WRMI out of Okeechobee, Florida, and then from Shortwave Gold, it gets transmitted out of Lower Saxony, Germany. So basically, Hawaii is just where I live, and I record the show here. I also sent pictures of the BC 348Q sitting on a 1929 Majestic console, and the DXR8 sitting next to the 1923 Edison Bell crystal receiver are attached. You got to go over to our website at VOSRinternational.com. Go over to the listeners radio page and flip through the radios there. This will be from Jimmy's. They'll be one of the last pictures, but go check them out. Some really nice radios. I mean, he had said they were redone, and they are just beautiful looking radios. It is just awesome keeping radios like this going. Jimmy, you got some really nice radios there. I see that my cell phone email will not let me attach, so I'm going to be sending them later. I ended up getting those, and then when I did get them, I messed it up and put the wrong name on the picture, so I had to delete it off the website and re-edit it back on. So sorry for that, Jimmy, but you are all set now, and the pictures are up there and ready to go. Then when he sent the pictures, he did mention that here's the photo follow-up to my earlier email, and these are all other radios here in the lab are fully restored and functional. And again, beautiful-looking radios. Make sure you go over there and check them out. And I couldn't get to all the emails this week. I will continue and pick it up next week. So this concludes our mailbag segment for this week. Keep the emails coming. It's always great to hear from everyone, and it's nice to get hear from some new listeners who just accidentally found us by tuning around on the radio. So get your emails sent in to VOSRINT@yahoo.com. That's VOSRINT@yahoo.com, or head over to our website at VOSRinternational.com, and you can click on the mail icon and contact us that way. You can also head over to Facebook and check us out at VOSR International. You can join the group there and post over there, and I will read those during the mailbag segment also. Now we're going to move on to a programming segment, and this is going to be just going over some of the new programming that has been added recently to WRMI, and some of these go back to like October of 2025 when they started. Some are a little bit newer, but sometimes they're weekly, sometimes they're monthly, so they haven't been around all that long, and there might be some new programming that everybody might want to go check out. First off, we're going to start out with Sonny Jim's Trance Journey, 60 minutes of alternative music on shortwave. And Sonny Jim's Trance Journey started on Wednesday, the 1st of October at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on 99.55 kilohertz. It's a chance for him to share with you some of today's music that he currently listens to. I'll be playing a selection of uplifting, melodic, well-sung, and well-crafted songs from an electronic genre. If this is new to you, don't be alarmed. Why not join me, Sonny Jim, to see if I can persuade you that there's more to music than songs we already know. So again, another nice music show, and it's going to be on for an hour. Check that out on Wednesdays at 99.55 kilohertz. And I'm probably going to do a segment like this from time to time, and even go over some of the older programming that's been around for a while also. Sometimes it's good to get a reminder of what's out there, and remind people of some programs that they might have listened to and went away from just for whatever reason, and think, I could return to that. I really like that show. Thanks for reminding me, and I'll go back and check it out. So next we have Early Jazz Radio Broadcast International. The Early Jazz Radio Broadcast International plays music from a wide variety of vintage jazz music styles, starting from the 1890s with ragtime to the late 1940s with the big band swing. The various early jazz styles include the blues, novelty, and modern piano, the 1920s, Harlem hot jazz and stride piano, ragtime and honky-tonk piano, dance and orchestra music from the 1920s and 1930s, so-called jazz standards, sometimes referred to as the Great American Songbook, early swing and big band music, traditional jazz, Dixieland music, boogie-woogie piano, and much more. It's all about early jazz as we present both original recordings from the era and also modern-era interpretations of early jazz. Dave Tucker, an experienced musician, recording artist, and music historian, is your host and piano player. And here we go for the scheduling. To Europe and Northeast America, it is on 15770 kilohertz at 2100 UTC on Thursdays, and that is 4 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. London. To North America, it's on 5950 kilohertz at 0400 UTC, 0300 UTC when the time changes in North America to Eastern Daylight Time. Friday, that's 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time year-round on Thursday nights. Again, really big swing in range of music being played on this program, and I've checked this one out myself, and it is really a great program. I have to use a Web SDR or Kiwi SDR is what I use to pick up this station. I picked them up on 15770 kilohertz. The time works out just better for me, but check them out. Really great music, and if you love that genre of music, you're going to like the show. Next, we have the 15-minute countdown. Join legendary rock and roll DJ, the Reverend Scatman Jones, in his 15-minute Billboard countdown each week as he spins the hits from the world of wax, featuring popular music from the 1950s and 60s and 70s, as well as the odd historical tidbit, all in 15 minutes. As the saying goes, it's not the size that matters, it's how you use it. And this show delivers more bang for your buck in 15 minutes than some larger shows out there do in 2 hours. Make sure to check it out Sunday evenings at 7:45 Eastern Time, USA, on 9955 kilohertz, and a rebroadcast to the Southern Hemisphere on Wednesdays at 0900 UTC on 7780 kilohertz. You can also get us through the internet stream on the Radio Miami website, which is connected to 9955 kilohertz, that broadcast at 7:45 p.m. Eastern on Sunday. And next we have the IQ40 with Chris O'Brien, the fastest countdown on the planet. Every week the IQ40 with Chris O'Brien delivers the biggest hits in the world at lightning speed, packing the entire top 40 countdown into a high-energy 30-minute sprint. Airtime, it's on Saturday nights, that's 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Pacific, Sunday morning at 0200 UTC, and it is broadcast on 9455 kilohertz. Since its debut on November 8th of 2025, the show has become a favorite among music fans and shortwave listeners alike. Hosted by Chris O'Brien, the IQ40 combines the week's hottest current hits and sharp commentary, occasionally nostalgic radio tributes, and non-stop momentum that makes 30 minutes feel like the best part of your night. What truly sets the IQ40 apart is its global reach. As a powerful shortwave broadcast, it has been heard in countries and locations around the world, with confirmed reception reports from Brazil, south of the equator, the Great Pyramids of Giza, Egypt, Greenland, Bermuda, all of Canada, and the entire United States of America. From major cities to remote corners of the globe, the IQ40 is providing that great music and shortwave radio still have the power to connect listeners across borders and oceans. Want to be a part of the show? You can get a hold of the IQ40. You can also send reception reports to IQ40shortwave@yahoo.com. Whether you are a die-hard Top 40 fan or a shortwave enthusiast, tune in for the fastest, most exciting music countdown on the air today. And we've had Chris do a segment here on VOSRinternational.com. It is a great show. It goes by really fast. It's amazing how fast that 30 minutes goes, but it's really entertaining, and I know you're going to enjoy it. And now another show that is just starting on WRMI, and this was actually posted on the WRMI Facebook page, and it's a reminder that SWL with the Tech Prepper with your host Gaston Gonzalez begins at 0300 UTC on Friday, March 27th. So this is a broadcast that just started, and that is a Thursday night in North America on 9455 kilohertz. And you can go over to the website on WRMI or on Facebook page. They do have a preview about the show there, so you can go check it out. So again, this is going to be at 0300 on Fridays on 9455 kilohertz. And lastly, I want to go over a notice that was posted on WRMI's Facebook page also, and it is about the National Association of Shortwave Broadcasters, the NASB. Join us for the NASB's 2026 in Birmingham. Shortwave broadcasters and shortwave listeners in North America can get together every year at the annual meeting of the NASB. This year it's going to be in Birmingham, Alabama on Thursday and Friday on May 28th and 29th, hosted by EWTN, the Worldwide Catholic Television Network, which operates shortwave station WEWN. The two-day event will include a presentation by former Voice of America chief, White House correspondent Steve Herman. Also, Calvin Carter of shortwave transmitter manufacturer Continental Electronics, Bradley Murray of WWCR in Nashville, Tennessee, and many more speakers. On May 29th, there will be a tour of WEWN shortwave transmitter and antenna site, one of America's premier shortwave broadcast facilities, with a 500 kilowatt Continental transmitters and an extensive antenna farm. WRMI will be there too, and we hope to see you there. It is free to attend, and you can find out all the details on NASB website, which is www.shortwave.org. Then click on the annual meeting info. So let me know if anybody is going to be going to this. That'd be great. If you want to give a segment about it, if you want to talk about it, attending the show, it'd be great to do that, and it'd be nice to get some pictures from the tour that's going to be given over there. So it really looks like a great event. If you're over in the area, it'd be great to stop out. So let us know what you think. Let us know about these new programs. Let us know if you're listening to them, or if you caught their first broadcast, or if they're among your favorites now. Send us an email at VOSRINT@yahoo.com. That's VOSRINT@yahoo.com. Or head over to our website at VOSRinternational.com, and you can click on the mail icon and contact us that way.
And that concludes our broadcast. Be sure to catch our broadcasts every Saturday at 0300 UTC on 9455 kilohertz, and also on Saturdays at 2300 UTC on 15770 kilohertz, transmitted by WRMI Radio Miami International from Okeechobee, Florida. We are also broadcasting on Thursdays at 1900 UTC on 3975 kilohertz, transmitted by Shortwave Radio in Lower Saxony, Germany. Until next time, ahoy ho everyone.